Alright, please have 3 rune slots. Oh, only 1. That's tough. Alright, I'm going over this month's the last Galactic Era season PvP monster, Immunoid. He is most notably a space defender, so you'll be able to use him with Voltaic in that era saga. Preston, yeah, he's basically all of the basic stuff. He's a mechanical book. He's an Earth Galactic monster. I only got 1 rune slot unlocked. How unlucky. Alright, so Immunoid. Kind of weird that he's an Earth monster and not an Earth and Metal, or just Metal, by the looks of his design. Alright, Immunoid was part of Warlord's drone security fleet. Oh, part of a Warlord. I thought it was talking about the Warlords. Alright, drone security fleet. When he became separated from his ship, the signal giving him his orders faded away, and Immunoid... Wait, Immunoid? Oh, there's an N. Was finally able to make his own decisions. His choice to help others instead of harming them. Well, no wonder he has no attacking capabilities whatsoever. His finisher, System Reboot, applies Electrify to all enemies, applies Time Stop to all enemies, removes all negative effects, gives 100% of stamina and life to all allies, applies space-time to all allies. Jesus Christ, this guy tries to do everything in one move. So, you give dots, and you deny the enemies. Then you do a complete reset of your entire team's health, stamina, and negative status effects, and you give them space-time. That is one of the longest finishers I have ever seen, effect-wise. They went all out for this guy. So System Reboot will literally reboot the match. That really changes the whole pace of the battle. Evolving trait. First, you got Immune to Possession. Alright. Just the standard Immune to Possession. With Lord Heyman right now, relying on Possession and Mega Possession, it is a pretty valuable thing. Bleed. It's an always annoying dot by every single random attacker with the sword. So it's always a nice immunity, gives you an immunity to Hidden Shiv and to Bleed haters like Tuska and that vampire legendary bat guy. And then Status Caster, Area Random Protection. This could be evasion, it could be dodge area, it could literally just be half damage from water. It's a hit or miss, but it's a nice little protection at the start of the battle. Who knows, maybe you get positive effect protection for your Megaton monster or something like that. But let's feed this guy to however high a million food will take him, and let's see what he can do. I will admit right now, off the bat, just honesty with you guys, I've seen his review, and he is kind of underwhelming, but he's also exactly what I thought he'd be, and I kind of like that. So, low maintenance. Deals low earth damage to one enemy, applies a random protection status effect to itself. So this, it's not the worst thing ever. You're just applying a random protection status effect to yourself. But this is not a monster you want. This is not a monster who you're prioritizing him staying alive. It's him prioritizing everyone staying alive, so I wouldn't run it. It's on a 0-turn cooldown, though. It's a nice self-sustain. Time Capsule. Applies space-time to one ally. This is great. Just spammable on a Megaton. Now, the thing about space-time is they can't receive damage from attacks. They can, however, get destroyed by the dots, which is, the most powerful thing in the game right now. Dots are just running rampant. So space-time is kind of, really bad. But still, it still at least protects you from damage. Counter Shock applies a random protection to status effect to one ally. Applies thunder protection to one ally. So since this is on a 0-turn cooldown, a little bit higher stamina, I think this is the one you would just spam for fun on a Megaton monster. But yeah. Status Analysis. Deals moderate metal damage to one enemy. Applies immunity to blind and stun. So, yeah, never. You never want to be immune to 2 niche things like this. Like immunity to control? Heck yeah, you're immune to corruption, possession, freeze, roots, time stop, everything. But you never want to just be immune to stun. That's worthless. So security scan, wow, on a hefty 62 stamina, 3-turn cooldown, big move, you gain immunity to control for 2 turns. Is it worth it? Honestly, I don't know. For a low earth AoE and a 2-turn and a 2-turn protection, I can't say that's the best thing ever. Counterconductive, applies metal immunity and thunder immunity to one ally. I gotta say, who is this for, man? Who is really out here afraid of thunder damage and metal damage? I mean, this is clearly supposed to, like, help from Galvanus and maybe Robo-Rabbit, like, or Voltaic, but, like, when you think about it, Light Voltaic only does really light damage in one thunder attack, and then even, like, attackers with metal like Omnia and Shadonia, they cleanse, so this is, like, so useless. Definitely do not run. Status report, deals moderate earth damage to one enemy, applies immunity to possession and immunity to freeze to all allies. So I'll say this, any move with any immunity, any move with any skills that fall under this immune to control branch, do not run it. You do not care about having immune to possession and freeze. You do not care about having immune to stun and blind when you could just have one immune to control move and be done with it. Time defragmentation, applies space-time. Okay, so kind of a protection. You can still get torn apart by dots and literally everything else, but we'll look on the bright side. If you're facing a Lord Nabotis, he couldn't one-shot you. So yeah, I think that's the thing. An attacker can't one-shot you if you have space-time. They have to at least wait until the dots finish you off. And torture immunity to all allies. So I quite like this. It's a protection, and it actually takes care of the biggest problem with space-time, which is the fact that dots can still kill you by giving you a torture immunity. I like that. So it's pretty clear there are some moves on this monster that are pretty decent, like an immunity to control and immunity to torture. You get to make your team unstoppable. With a useless space-time and a lot of stamina, you can make your team practically unstoppable. Then there's useless moves like who's trying to be immune to metal and thunder, who's trying to be immune to corruption and freeze. So the spammable space-time, definitely worth running. You're definitely going to be spamming this on your Megataunt monster, using this and this to make sure that your Megataunt monster is permanently okay. Because, look, you do this the first turn, right? They have the space-time, they can't be one-shot, and then the torches are taken care of. Then once the first space-time runs out, you do it again. Then you do it for the next turn, and then you reapply this torture immunity, and you hardly waste any stamina. It's all good. And then, the way I see this guy, he's just, first of all, to make your entire team basically like Draco, give them all immunity to control and immunity to torture. And then, in his second role, he is just to give protections to a Megataunt monster. So along with this space-time, I'm going to do the random protection to one ally and a thunder protection. The thunder protection is just, like, thrown on there for no reason. But this is about the spammable 0 cooldown protection. So, what are my thoughts on the monster? I mean, honestly, as an optimistic, like, monster reviewer, I want to like him. You know? Wait. Excuse me. Should I? I'm gonna need him for the Air Saga anyways. So, he is the kind of guy you go for all team speedruns. He is really just a support in a match that you know you've already gotten won, because you would never risk him in a real battle. So after being damaged, when the turn starts, I'll go Armor of Duty, and then Charging Staff. And sadly, I do not have any single better monster than Immunoid right now, so I have to use him in the rank up survival dungeon. Because look at this, like, that is the problem with how little good free-to-play monsters they give away. Look, I've got Zarkane, Brigadier, Calamity Abyss, Mike Kinetic. Those are all so bad. Preston. And then I've got all of my good ones ranked up already, and Boss is already almost ranked up. You know, Kiradar is getting there. So now I've got to use monsters like him. But yeah, this is how I'll showcase him through here. So I'll give you the helmet. I'll give you the patchy bot. Hopefully I do not run into reverse healing. Alright, so let's see how fast you are. Oh, well, you're only at level 78. I can't blame you for anything. Alright, so look, here's the ideal situation. Here's what you're always waiting for. He can't even one-shot him. You give space-time torture immunity, and he does Mega Taunt. And you recharge, and then you do your immunity control. And sadly, it kills. But now, for at least those 2 turns, your attacker, Wait, hold on. Sorry about the ad break, fellas. But, okay, so, for those 2 turns, your attacker and your Megaton monster are completely unstoppable. Short of Mega Blind and Per Denial, which are both actually, pretty popular. Your attacker cannot be stopped. Because, look, let's say this girl, she tries to do her Mega Stun with Shock move, and this was an extra turn attacker. Well, the Shock doesn't land because I was immune to Torture, and the Mega Stun doesn't land because I was immune to Control. So that is where Immunoid earns his namesake of being immune, because he gives very powerful immunities to his whole team that really are invaluable. But one of the many downsides to what he does is his steep stamina cost. So I'm going to try and show it off this next match. And it's clear to me I'll have to... 2 ads, bro. What is SP doing? I'm like one of the few guys that still plays, so now they're bombarding me with ads. Anyways, yeah, it's pretty clear I gotta feed this guy. Oh, I am very much out of food. Darn. Well, he'll have to do. But yeah, honestly, I think he might make for some usability in a war. So, let's say you've got your basic denier, right? Off the top of my head, Wormnoid. Okay, I know he's awful, but stick with me for the analogy. Let's say Wormnoid was about to go next, and he was the only denier on the enemy team. Then there's just a lackluster attacker and a buffer. You would make him the fastest guy, and he would go security scan. Boom, you know your enemy can't cleanse away. Now you're all immune to Control. There's nothing he can do. And then you do you go about your day, and then boom, look, he can't do anything but attack them because they're immune to Control. And then, of course, the big thing with immune to Control that I'd never realized is that immune to Control only lasts for 2 turns, so it does not last as long as you might feel it does. So boom, then it comes back around to you after those 2 turns, and sadly, security scan is 3 turn. If I was faster than these attackers, this would be so easy to keep these cycled. Then again, his stamina costs are massive. Boom, immunity to Torture plus a damage protection. It's like basically 100% damage protection. And then boom, I kill you guys. Boss Directs did his little finisher dance, and yeah. So he's really just here to make sure that my allies have a good time. You know, keep them safe, make sure nothing comes their way. Reminds me a lot of the other PvP monster I was having to rank up, which was Anderlass. Except he could also do healing, which made me like him more. But this guy can do healing and immune to Torture, and he can spam protections, and he can spam up complete damage protection on your Megaton monster. So I think he might be a little bit more worth it me ranking up right now. And I think he might be a little bit more worth you ranking up. Because, you know, even, yeah, let's say you throw him on a team like that, where it's just him and 2 other people. He can make sure that they can't be denied, and they can't be, tortured. Now, he can even save them from some damage. Not a lot of damage, but he can save them from a good bit of it. Like, let's say, and then we have you, I guess. Look, okay, so sadly he still doesn't go first. Since I go first, boom, I would apply torture immunity so this guy can't stun them. Then, you know, I don't want to run out of the torture immunity yet, so I'll keep going, and then boom, I do this, and this is so ideal. Now everyone's got that Draco effect. They can't be stunned. No, they can't be denied. They can't be tortured, and you can't even be damaged by physical attacks. Now, there are still a lot of ways to get around him. I don't want to overhype him because I'm being positive. His effects don't last forever, and his stamina makes it run out really quickly. But let's say this was a Megaton monster. Boom. Dodge area on a Megaton monster. That's unstoppable. And funnily enough, it is always dodge area. And then boom. Let's say I got back around to him. Oh no, I ran out of stamina because his stamina costs are so high. Space-time. You can't punch him anymore. Just such a powerful protection monster. So yeah, I mean, I kind of love that he just lives up to his name, and that is all he does. But at least he's good at it. He is immunoid. He gives immunities to simple little things. You see, if I gave them immunity to stun, that never would have happened. So you know what I'm going to do now? Give them that immunity to stun. Is it too late? It absolutely is. But the enemy is gone. That kind of showcases how hard he is to use, but how he isn't useless. Like, there's definitely times for him to shine, but he's just not going to be a big-time player in anyone's team. I think he's worth getting to rank 3 just for the era sagas you'll need to use him in. I know I have to get him at rank 3 for era sagas, but yeah. There he is. He's basically all he is. He's a high stamina cost. He gives immune to torture, immune to control, and space-time, but on high stamina, and space-time is nowhere near as good as evasion. If he did evasion, I would have loved this monster, man. But you really can't defend space-time as much for that high stamina. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. I was really excited to check out this monster, see if it was as bad or better or worse than people were saying. And I don't think he's the worst ever. I think if you're a beginner, you've got a lot of use in this guy, because he's got, you know, a beginner's evasion where the dots can still land, but you can't get one shot by crazy monsters. And you can give immunity to control and immunity to torture, so your attackers are free, like, from anything. There's nothing you can throw at a monster who's immune to control and torture, unless it's like blind, daze, any one of the millions of those. Minor blind, you know, there's a lot of accuracy reduction. Even Hellfire, but Hellfire you're immune to. So it's basically like everything I love about Draco, but given to everyone. But yeah, that's about it for the video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like to support the video. Help it get to other people who need to hear the slight usability in him. But then again, I don't want to over-advertise him. He's not the best. But yeah, leave a like just, you know, to support the channel. I appreciate it a ton. Thank you so much for watching. That is all the support I really need. Leave a comment and I will respond. I always love to hear your thoughts. Is he absolute garbage? Maybe. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. And subscribe to join the Crab Army. We are almost at 130 subscribers. We are right there. So help us push it over. Thank you so much for watching. Your favorite Omni-Crab, signing out.